Welcome to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. I'm your host, Todd Perlmutter. Our world is a projection of our collective consciousness. The more peace we bring into our lives, the more peace we bring into this world. So let the transformation begin. Nearly every moment of our lives, we are faced with a choice to embrace the unknown or to fear it. We all have this choice ultimately in our life where we can run away out of fear from whatever we are too afraid to face, or we can embrace the unknown, embrace the chaos. We can build a life that is courageous and ambitious and open to new possibilities, or we can shrink from those opportunities and choose to retreat. One option opens us up to a huge life full of excitement, adventure, and wonder. And the other option leads us to a small, scared, closed-off life, free from chances, free from risk, and we can sit in the safety and comfort of predictability, yet we can still be haunted by knowing that we had unfulfilled potential. Now, this doesn't mean taking risks where we are careless with money, careless with our lives, careless with our health and our well-being. These are simply risks that notice our own irrational fear, that notice our unconscious resistance to the possibilities of rejection, to the possibilities of failure, to the possibilities of looking foolish, of being too public with ourselves, being on stage in front of a large audience, or believing we don't have what it takes to do big, great things. And the other life, which again, in every moment presents that opportunity, is to swing for the fences, to be fearless in our courage, to be as charismatic, as friendly, as flirtatious, and as confident in ourselves, in our business ideas, in our romance, friendship, and families as we possibly can. And it is very easy to live that big life if we just do one simple thing, and that is to embrace the chaos instead of run away from it. This doesn't mean, of course, that we don't plan. Not that kind of chaos. It simply means that we take a big chance, that we take one huge leap forward, not knowing fully where that foot's going to land. But we do it anyway, because we believe in ourselves as much as everyone else has the right to believe in themselves. Because the alternative is we realize, you know what, instead of taking that big leap, Maybe I'll just take a small step, or maybe better yet, no step. Maybe I shouldn't even leave the house. Maybe that safe backup job is better than going after my dreams. And whenever we nurture that aspect of ourselves, we diminish the potential we have for this one brief, wondrous life. Nobody achieved anything without believing in themselves first. Many people who have no skills, no talent, no great looks, achieved great things on self-belief alone. And most people have wonderful skills, incredibly unique talents. They just lack the self-belief. And we can very easily let our idea of perfection, our idea of not being ready just yet to try something big, stop us from ever getting started. Because we are all ready right now to take that first step towards the path that was meant for us. We just have to make embracing what scares us our new habit, instead of seeking out safety in external circumstances, because there will always be too many things outside of our control. So many people chose a safe life and got laid off by a company who moved overseas. The Kodak company was so certain that this digital camera technology would be a passing fad that they failed to put their near unlimited resources into developing the greatest digital cameras. And they just stuck to what they knew, what was safe for them, which was film. And that is the danger of safety. True safety lies in following our unique passion relentlessly, to listen to our intuition, that inner voice, not the thinking mind, but the instinct that guides us towards what was always meant for us, that fear blocks out. Because when we follow our unique passion, when we break through the fear and we get to our true calling, we embark upon a path no one else is on. We have no competition but our own fear, and we are setting ourselves up for unlimited growth, earning potential, romantic partner potential, family, and all of the things we dream of. Now, you may be thinking, what do I know about this? I'm a person who's already putting myself out there. I'm a person who's public and open to all of that scrutiny, and I'm just on the other side of that fear life. But when I was a very young student, I loved art and writing, and they were my passions. And in fact, it was even one of my brother's passions. He loved acting and writing. He went to school for acting. He moved out to LA to write and sell screenplays. Meanwhile, me, loving art, loving writing, I went to art school and majored in advertising. I started out as the backup. My backup plan was my first plan. That's how fear-based I was. And nothing against advertising. It is a wonderful profession if that is your passion and you love to do it, or you find it creatively satisfying, as it really can be. But for me personally, it was about that easy career. Seeing my brother and seeing that huge risk he was taking to go into a profession that 0.01% of the people make it in. I was like, I'm going to go safe. And only about 10 or 15 years after working in advertising and suffering from every single symptom of stress known to man, until I was basically forced to go seek some secret, some path, some cure for this immense stress, this immense pressure I always put on myself. Because I wasn't really doing what I loved, which it turns out I discovered once I went on the most unique and strange and misunderstood and scary unknown journey of my life, where I quit my job, gave up my apartment and all my possessions, and spent 9 years living with monks and gurus and shamans and tribes around the world, learning about spirituality. And so it wasn't only the secret to stress that I found. It was my unique path. And for most, if not all of those 9 years, I was in constant fear of being sure that I would never make money again. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I hope advertising will take me back. And despite all that fear, I was gaining the tools to embrace my fears, to love the unknown, to crave bigger and bigger challenges, more and more exciting opportunities with bigger and bigger risk, although not necessarily financial, but simply risk of it not working out and having to do something else. And so in no way am I saying go be a movie star unless that is your calling, unless that you would do for free. And of course, only if you have the means to do so. If you are willing to be a waiter until the big break. Because when you find your true passion, when you find that deep love that you would do for free, as I have found, it doesn't matter if you get that big break or not, because you are doing what you love. You are following your heart. And the more people that do that, the greater their life becomes, the more likely they are to succeed because their whole heart is in it. But we all need to find that purpose that makes life worth living, whether or not it turns out the way our mind and ego tell us that it should. People think that life is a journey, but really, we are life, and we are the journey. We are the captains of the ship, and we have more control than we realize. We just have to make peace with the unknown. We have to love stress, and then it's not stressful. We have to be at peace with chaos, and then it's not chaotic. And we do this simply by staying aware of the thoughts in our mind, the fear in our body, and saying yes to the courage underneath. Fear and excitement are the same emotion. The only difference is the mental story? Is that story self-critical, negative, pessimistic, or is it self-loving and positive? Most of us want praise and recognition so badly that we fear rejection and we hate criticism until it paralyzes us and makes us unable to just chase our own dreams. And here is the secret to breaking free from that slavery, that bondage of other people's opinions. Instead of living and dying by other people's praise or criticism, and instead of us having to boost ourselves up with self-talk, I'm great, I can do this, which still makes us at the whim of our ego. And instead of avoiding that self-talk of I'm terrible, I'm not worthy, I'm not able and capable to achieve great things like everybody else, instead of trying to think I'm great or I'm terrible, we just realize I am. We've heard this phrase a million times. Anything after I am is a fiction. It is all a distorted lens to look at ourselves. We just are. And when we just are, we're free from every mental story in our mind, and we're free from every mental story of everyone else, because we know it is all a fiction. We just are. And the rest is just words, self-talk, mental stuff. Nothing that can compare to our infinite nature and our infinite potential and the infinite possibilities we have for this life. And they truly are infinite. Nobody is limited by anything except their imagination and mindset. The question is, are we willing to dream big? Are we going to allow ourselves to be monumentally disappointed if something doesn't go our way because we took a big chance? And I hope the answer is yes, because that's how we achieve big things. Dream so big that failure is massively successful. If you want to become a billionaire and you're only a multimillionaire, congratulations, you failed up. And that is a wonderful place to be. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of setting big goals, because failure is just a lesson learned. We need to also get excited for everything that we hate right now. We need to get excited for the hard stuff, for the grinding long days and hours into our passion that maybe we're timid about starting. We need to get enthusiastic to get to 100 rejections, to have people laugh at us. Whatever the fear is, that is our teacher, our lesson. If you can love the stuff most people hate the most, you will be wildly successful. In dating, that's rejection. In business, it's failure or hard work or tedious long hours. The most successful people are the ones who can work the longest because it's not work to them. Work implies we are resisting it, that we can't wait for it to get over so we can get to enjoy. So we need to enjoy the work. Enjoy the rejection. Enjoy every setback and challenge as another opportunity to overcome an obstacle, to use our brain power, to come up with new and better solutions. And that is something to be grateful for. And none of this has anything to do with money or what society says we should want, has nothing to do with fame and fortune or any other goal from anyone else. If being a teacher is your dream and you've loved the idea of teaching, and it would mean you have a small apartment and your family thinks you should be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, then for you, becoming a teacher is your dream, is the biggest thing you could hope for. It doesn't matter if it's kindergarten that you love teaching or being a professor at a university. That is only for you to decide. And if it's being a kindergarten teacher, then you will be the world's greatest kindergarten teacher. The key to a peaceful life is not living in a cabin in the woods or living in a mansion or any other ideal, peaceful, perfect external circumstance. It will come when you embrace what you fear, what you hate, what agitates you, what annoys you, what drives you crazy. When you can love all of that, you love everything. And that is the highest state of bliss we can reach. So be grateful for everything that scares you. Those business meetings, those public speaking engagements, those job interviews, those first dates, taking a risk and telling someone how much they mean to you. This is how we live a fearless life, not by avoiding everything we're afraid of, but by overcoming the fear of those things. Only people who are afraid to follow their bliss, who are jealous of you following your bliss, will be the ones laughing, criticizing, and mocking. And when you can just breathe that in like oxygen and not let it deter you, you will be unstoppable. Now go be the most you can be in whatever you do, every moment, every day. No matter whether you are working at a job that is temporary and a stepping stone to something else, whether you are already chasing your dream, stay you. Your unique view will set you apart from the competition. And the world needs your voice. Much love. If you're finding these podcasts helpful and wish to support it, you may do so at patreon.com, buy me a coffee, and eastwesticism.org. And please leave a review as well, and that will help many more people find their path to peace as well. You have been listening to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. Being here and putting in this important and noble work is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and others. If you found this podcast even a little helpful, please make sure to leave a review so it can reach others who may be in need. And remember, the path to peace starts with a single step.